everyone, Ben with Virtuous here. And as we are thinking about maintaining that really optimal balance in our portfolios between our everyday donors, our mid-level, our major donors, I want to add in this idea of momentum. Okay, so if we're thinking about like the golden rule of retention being easier than acquisition, it's always cheaper, it's always easier to retain those existing donors than acquire new ones. That is generally because those existing relationships have some momentum behind them, right? Even if we're thinking about a lapsed donor, it's not like we're totally starting from zero. There is something there that we're accelerating forward in order to reactivate that donor. So we're going to take that and just broaden it a little bit, right? We're going to expand our portfolios by accelerating the relationships that we already have. Think about it like this. We might have people in our portfolios who are capable of giving more. They just haven't yet. So how can we use that momentum to get them to the next rung of our donorship? So we're going to start, as always, as I always say, by going fishing, right? We've got to cast our net in our database. So if I'm focusing on my portfolio here, maybe that's going to be specifically looking at folks who are in Virginia, like myself. I want to make sure I'm beginning with capturing that wealth data. So it's going to start by saying, all right, if I have someone in Virginia who does not have wealth data attached to their record, let's make sure we run that. And then my next branches here are going to look at everybody in that portfolio, right? And what it's actually looking at is saying, hey, in what cases do I have a donor whose estimated giving capacity does not line up with the giving that I'm actually seeing on the table? So we can kind of look at my mid-level here, my giving capacity between that 5 to 10K range. If I open up my filters, this is saying, hey, their capacity is at that 5 to 10K range, but their life-to-date giving is still under 5. So, okay, there's something on the table here. Let's make sure we bubble them up, confirm that they are in my portfolio. Obviously, want to add that tag to say they are at least a mid-level donor prospect, and then give me a task on my to-do list to say, hey, Ben, we've got to do some extra prospect research here. Let's dig into this opportunity and see what's there. And likewise for, say, my major donors as well. That said, we don't want to ignore the kind of acquisition side of the coin, right? Just because it's generally going to be easier to retain and accelerate those existing donors, it doesn't mean that we don't want to convert other supporters into becoming donors. So I've got another workflow built out for us here that's focused on doing exactly that. This is now instead going fishing, not just in my portfolio, but more broadly across my database, saying, who's engaging with us in some way, but not yet giving? And let's cultivate those relationships. Let's accelerate that momentum. So my two branches here are focusing on volunteers who haven't given and event attendees who haven't given, respectively. Very similar to a new donor welcome series, right? We're saying, all right, let's make sure we tag them. This is a volunteer. This is an event attendee who has not given yet. And then indicate that they are currently in a cultivation series that is curated for that type of supporter. The volunteer is going to get multi-channel communications focused on how they already engage with me, and then what's the effect of them converting into that financial contribution would be. And likewise for my event attendees, it's curated, it's tailored for the type of support that they're already giving to make sure it's going to be maximally effective. And then likewise, once we do successfully convert them, those tags are going to be removed. From there, maybe I do have a first-time donor welcome series. It's going to continue that relationship, right, and maintain our momentum.